Good morning. How are we? Mercury retrograde, I'm sorry, that's the right way to pronounce it, is finally leaving us. When I say that I have been challenged to the point of multiple mental breakdowns this retrograde, I mean really like every single thing that could go wrong went wrong. I just have been feeling so weird. It's Virgo season. I feel lighter already with just the retrograde being back. We're getting there, you guys. We're getting there. I had Lindsay Metzler. We just taped Office Hours. It'll be out on Friday. She's really into astrology, and we were just talking about how things finally feel like a little bit lighter as of today. So happy end of retrograde for all of us. Even if you don't celebrate, I don't care because it affects you anyway. Guys, speaking of wellness, astrology, woo-woo, all that good stuff, I did a little trip down memory lane last night because I was so bored in my bed. I'll tell you what happened. Basically, had a few health things this week, and I was just thinking in general, I've been a bit far. Like even for me, I have been living the brat lifestyle, maybe a little too literally. I mean, this summer, I don't think that I had more than one day of sleep at a time. And it's been amazing and it's been fun, but I'm fucking exhausted. Okay. I'm absolutely exhausted. And I have been saying this for a couple pods now, a couple sessions now, but I really am just excited for fall to get back into the routine, to get back to work, to get back to just order and just restoring the I don't know, I just want to feel grounded again, which Virgo season is great for. Earth signs, what up? And I was like in my bed because I cooked a healthy dinner. I had chicken and Greek salad. Some sarcastic person was like, well, actually that's not healthy because you put cheese on your salad. And I was like, shut your mouth when you're talking to me, okay? You can't just hard transition into being healthy, okay? You can't go from eating like fried mozzarella sticks and 94 Aperol spritzes for your entire day's worth of food into like salad with no cheese. You know, you need to have a little halfway house. Anyway, then I went to get manicures with Pig, and I was in bed by, I'm not kidding you guys, 8 p.m. It was 8 p.m. and I was in my bed, skincare on. I even took an extra long time to do my skincare. I was listening to my book while I did it. That always makes me like really take my time when I listen to my book while I do my nighttime routine. And I looked in my bed and I was 8:05 and there I was. And it was funny because it reminded me of when I was living in New York in my 20s when I was in grad school. And it was really at the peak of the wellness boom. Do you guys remember that? Cast your mind back to a time before COVID, okay? Do you remember when all that shit started coming up? All that shit. Okay. Sauna and this diet and that diet and, tongue scraping and dry brushing and remember that food combining trend when it was like, now eat your fruit first and then you can't eat this food with that food and all this stuff. And I went cuckoo with it. Okay. I went fully ballistic because I had way too much time on my hands. Oil pulling. Oh my God. I tried oil pulling. Raise your hand if you were personally, what is the quote from Mean Girls? Like personally done by oil pulling. If you don't know what it is, it was like you would put coconut oil in your mouth and you would swish it around your mouth for like 5 minutes. Imagine keeping oil in your mouth for that long. And here's the kicker. You have to do it every day. Every day. Oh my God. And I sat there and I did it. And I would do all that shit. And I was like super anal about food. Like I would eat every meal in my house. And I lived in New York City for 2 years. I would cook every meal and I would take pictures of these salads and I'd be like, I would think that they were so good. I would get jade rollers. Before we had ice rollers, remember we had the jade rollers. I would do that every single morning. And I would do all the potions. I was very into like ashwagandha. I was very into all that stuff. And I would go to bed. I was very anal about eating really early. I would eat at like 5 and then I would go to bed at like 9 or whatever. And it was funny because I was friends with Pig at this time. And that's how I know he's a real one. Because he was friends with me when I was a boring psychopath. And so he's in it for the long run. That's why he always like, we get drunk at parties and he's like, you have no idea how weird this girl used to be. Like she used to be so far gone on the wellness thing. I would go to every workout class. I'd do the sauna, whatever. Now, look, I am not saying that there isn't some merit to all of that. I think that all of us, I won't speak for everybody, but I learned a lot during that time about wellness and what makes me feel good and what makes me feel bad. But it was too far. I was too obsessed with it. And actually this morning I was going through my DMs because I was like making fun of myself on Instagram, like showing some of the content that I used to post for my fucking 800 followers. And someone was like, oh, you know, a few of you guys were like, you're too hard on yourself. We were all into it that much, blah, blah, blah. You know, we all grow and whatnot. And then one person said, did you feel healthier during this time when you were like this? And honest to God, the answer is no. And let me tell you why. I was so obsessed with everything being perfect that if there was one thing, like if I accidentally ate gluten or if I accidentally had sugar, whatever, I would be so upset. I remember I got into a fight with my mom about the soap she used for our washing machine at home because she got like clear Tide, like Tide free and clear or whatever. And I remember going to her in tears being like, this isn't really chemical free. It's just fake chemical free. And you have to get the little powder in the, you know, from the farmer's market. And that's the only soap we should use. Otherwise these chemicals are going to get into our skin. I mean, I was like kooky, you guys. And it's ultimately that's a really bad way to live because if you're so tightly wound that Tide free and clear washing powder can make you cry, that stress is the thing that's most bad for your body. And then it was COVID and everybody just kind of like was like, well, fuck it, like pass the Clorox, pass the chemicals, we're all gonna die, who gives a shit. And now I hope that like me, everybody's kind of reached an equilibrium. Listen, I still tongue scrape every morning. My day is ruined if I don't tongue scrape. I still dry brush from time to time. I'm obsessed with getting lymphatic massages. And here's the thing, I know what foods make me feel good and bad, but I'm just not so like ass clench about it. It's kind of pick and choose your own adventure in terms of what makes you feel good. But it's just like, I got so many DMs saying that you guys had a similar arc of like, you started learning about wellness stuff. You reading all the books, all the Mark Hyman books. Oh my God. I used to read Mark. I was obsessed with him. I mean, I am obsessed with him. By the way, he's great. I love all his books, but like, am I going to follow the Pegan diet 24/7? Absolutely fucking not. Okay. There's no Aperol spritzes in Mark Hyman's book and therefore I cannot adhere to them completely. But it's like, you have to reach an equilibrium. And I'll say it again. I've said it before. I'll say it again. That's kind of the cool part about being in your 30s is you're just like, okay, I can do a little bit of this and a little bit of that and find what works for me. And that's beautiful. But it was a funny time. It was a funny time. Is there anybody else out there who was a recovering wellness girl, a recovering wellness fanatic? If so, call because I want to talk about it. It was especially in New York, because I felt like that was one of the epicenters. I loved wellness so much that I moved to LA. I'm not kidding. That was part of it. I was like, there's too many pollutions in New York. I need to go to LA and ground myself in the sand. Yeah, what did I do to go to LA and become a fucking influencer? How well in the head am I? All right, let's talk to Megan. Hey, Megan, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. What's going on? Thanks for calling.
I'm so excited. Okay, so I have a crazy summer of outside story for you.
Yay!
You'll appreciate.
Please.
Okay, it starts off in Barcelona, which I know you love.
I love Barcelona, and also, like, I swear 5 of our callers this summer have had sex in Barcelona or have gone on trips in Barcelona. Like, what's going on in Barcelona? We all need to go. Vicky Cristina Barcelona.
No, the energy in Barcelona was absurd, and it was like the best experience of my life.
Oh,
I also went to like your recommendations and stuff. So
good.
It was amazing.
Fun.
So the love story starts off at Pacha. I don't know if you've been to Pacha.
Of course.
Of course. Okay. So pretty much my best friend and I went on this trip post breakup for me, and it was just like really healing and so fun. But pretty much she was on like dating apps at the time, like on the trip, and like every night we would just like kind of match with like groups of guys or whatever and meet them at like cocktail bars or whatever and like go out with them.
So fun.
It was like really fun. Like we just kind of put ourselves out there just to like make friends. This night, this group of guys was like, we found this like insane cocktail bar. You have to come, like whatever. So we go pre with them there, and then we go to Pacha. I'm not like interested in any of these guys like on the like at the group, so I'm like whatever. I'm like letting my friend go off with this guy, like have fun. At the table, they end up getting like the biggest table at Pacha. I don't know if you know the elevated surface.
Oh yeah,
of like everybody.
Of course.
And it's like there's a massive table, so it was just like so fun. But I wasn't interested in any of the guys, and I start eyeing this guy like in the crowd, but he's like so far away, and I'm like having full on eye sex with this guy for like 30 minutes. But I'm like so far, I'm on this elevated service. I cannot get to him. You know, Patch is like super crushed.
Right.
I'm eyeing this guy all night. Then he disappears. I'm like, okay, well, there goes my chance, whatever. An hour later, he shows up again. He's like with a friend, but super close to the like table I was at. So I'm like, this is my chance. Like, I thought he left. I have to talk to this guy. He's like close enough now. So I like go under the ropes, you know, like the ropes for the VIP tables.
Yeah.
Like red
Wait,
rope.
that's iconic. You're just like, oh, don't mind me.
Like, where are you going? I'm like, don't mind me. Like, one sec. This is the guy I was eye fucking the whole night. So I go to the ropes. I like go under, literally under the ropes. I jump off. This guy is like blushing because he knows like I'm coming for him.
Right.
What's your name? Like all these, like all this stuff. I'm just like full on going for it, just like asking him about himself, whatever. And he's like so flattered. He's like, I'm from Italy, whatever. We end up like spending the whole night together, like literally whole night until like 8, 9 a.m. together. And you know how like Pacha's on the beach, so you could go and like walk on the beach at like 4 a.m. It was amazing. Anyway, so it was incredible. And we've been literally texting every day since. I had to leave the next day to go to Mallorca, and he was going to come, but it was complicated. And then I was going to go meet him in Italy, but it was complicated. So I was like, I'm going to Paris at the end of September, and I wanted to feel out like what he would say. And he's like, I would love to come meet you in Paris.
Oh my gosh, a little Parisian rendezvous romance. I love it.
It's crazy. We've literally been talking every day since, like FaceTiming ever since I got back. Like, I don't know. This is just, I guess, a call to tell everyone listening to just put yourself out there. And like, if you're like eyeing a guy all night, like just go, like tell him your name, like ask for his name, whatever. It like led to all of this. He's literally coming to meet me in Paris at the end of September. Booked his flight, booked us an Airbnb. Like if he wants to, he will, you know? And
so
like,
true.
he's the sweetest, most respectful guy. Italians are like the most romantic. It's crazy. So yeah, I just figured you would appreciate that story.
I do appreciate it. I so appreciate this wonderful start to the show. Honestly, you're so right. It's about getting outside. And look, you said you went on this trip because of a breakup, right? And it's like sometimes we are propelled to do things. And if you have an open heart, the universe just brings it right back to you. It's really cool. It's honestly really cool. And I love all these summer of outside stories. Look, we all know it. The apps are pretty much fucked at this point. So we got to get outside. And listen, before you say it and people are going to be like, but I can't go to Barcelona. We can have these attitudes at home. We just don't. We reserve this type of behavior for vacation, and then we wonder why we're always like, oh, but this amazing thing happened in Barcelona and here and this. And then it's like, because we act free, you know, we act like our best selves.
Yes, exactly. And like just put yourself out there. Like I felt like my heart was maybe going to be super closed off on this trip because it only been like maybe 3 months since my breakup, but I was just like healing, I guess, at home, and I didn't realize. And then when I was on this trip, like my heart was just more open than it's ever been. And I would have never, ever gone up to a guy like that and like just put myself out there. And like it ended up being this incredible situation, like with this person who I connected with so much. And like, I can't believe he's actually coming to meet me in Paris, which is insane. But,
I can. Why not? That's so exciting. I'm so pumped for you. You absolutely must call us back after the Parisian rendezvous and tell us how it goes. That is so exciting. I'm so happy for you. And thank you for inspiring other people for Summer of Outside, which, as we know, like, yes, it's a summer thing, but it also is like a year-round attitude that we all have to carry in our hearts. So thank you for that.
And the app stuck, but honestly, on vacation they were really fun because we were able to make so many friends, and like meeting these guys on this app who met us at a cocktail bar and then brought us to like the club or whatever ended up being all of this. So yeah.
Obsessed. You're the best for calling. Have the best time on the trip, and thank you for your beautiful energy today.
Oh my God, love you.
Lots of love, babe. Bye. You can't go to Barcelona, but you can go to the bar. So keep that as our mantra for fall. That honestly might be our fall mantra, you guys. I like it a lot.